Our smartphones, essential for daily life, are also prime targets for cybercriminals exploiting location services. Our reliance on smartphones for convenience has made us vulnerable to cyber threats, especially through location services. Smartphones have evolved from simple devices to essential tools, but this convenience comes with increased vulnerability. The evolution of smartphones has made our lives easier, but also created new challenges in safeguarding our privacy and security. In a data-driven world, our personal information is a commodity, raising concerns about privacy and control. Location services offer convenience but also expose us to digital threats, highlighting the need for a balance between convenience and control. Every use of location services leaves a digital trail that can be exploited, emphasizing the need for proactive privacy measures.
Check one, check.
Section 3. Real-life consequences, stories from the front lines. The threat posed by location tracking is not merely theoretical. It's a stark reality that is playing out in the lives of individuals around the world. From identity theft and financial fraud to stalking and harassment, the consequences of unchecked location tracking can be devastating, leaving victims feeling violated, vulnerable, and powerless. These are not isolated incidents. They are becoming increasingly commonplace as cybercriminals become more sophisticated in their tactics, and our digital footprints become more revealing. Take, for example, the story of Sarah, a young mother who became the target of a stalker after her location data was compromised. What began as harmless check-ins at her favorite coffee shop and gym quickly escalated into a nightmare as the stalker began sending her threatening messages, leaving unwanted gifts at her doorstep, and even showing up at her workplace. Despite her best efforts to maintain her privacy, Sarah's digital footprint had provided a roadmap for her tormentor, making her feel like a prisoner in her own life. Then there's the case of John, a successful businessman who fell victim to a sophisticated phishing scam that drained his bank account and destroyed his credit score. John had always considered himself tech-savvy, but he let his guard down when he received an email that appeared to be from his bank, asking him to verify his account information. Unbeknownst to John, the email was a fake, designed to steal his login credentials. The scammers used John's location data, which they had obtained through a previous data breach, to make the email appear more legitimate, making it seem like his bank was simply verifying his identity. These stories, while heartbreaking, serve as stark reminders of the very real dangers we face in an age of ubiquitous connectivity. They highlight the importance of being vigilant about our digital security, understanding the risks associated with location tracking, and taking proactive steps to protect ourselves from becoming victims of cybercrime. Section 4. The escalating threat, cybercrime's growing reach. Cybercrime is no longer a niche activity relegated to the dark corners of the internet. It has evolved into a sophisticated multi-billion-dollar industry fueled by the insatiable appetite for data in the digital age. As our lives become increasingly intertwined with technology, so too does the threat posed by cybercriminals, who are constantly finding new and inventive ways to exploit our vulnerabilities and profit from our digital footprints. The proliferation of devices, the rise of the Internet of Things, and the increasing reliance on cloud computing have created a perfect storm for cybercrime to flourish. With billions of connected devices generating an unprecedented amount of data, cybercriminals have access to a treasure trove of information that can be used for a variety of malicious purposes, from identity theft and financial fraud to espionage and sabotage. Adding fuel to the fire is the growing sophistication of cybercriminal organizations, which now rival legitimate businesses in their structure, resources, and reach. These organizations often operate across borders, making it difficult for law enforcement to track them down and bring them to justice. They employ skilled hackers, social engineers, and money launderers who work together to carry out complex schemes designed to maximize their profits and minimize their risk. The threat is further compounded by the fact that many individuals and organizations are ill-equipped to defend themselves against these attacks. Lack of awareness, inadequate security measures, and a false sense of security make them easy targets for cyber criminals, who are constantly finding new ways to exploit vulnerabilities and stay one step ahead of the game. It's a constant cat-and-mouse game, and the stakes have never been higher. Section 1. Taking back control, disabling location services. The good news is that we are not powerless in the face of these digital threats. There are concrete steps we can take to reclaim control of our privacy and minimize our risk of becoming victims of cybercrime. One of the most effective measures is also one of the simplest, disabling location services on our smartphones. While it might seem counterintuitive in an age where we rely on GPS for everything from navigation to finding the nearest coffee shop, taking control of our location data is a powerful first step towards safeguarding our digital lives. Remember, convenience should never come at the cost of our privacy and security. Disabling location services doesn't mean sacrificing the convenience of our smartphones entirely. It's about making informed choices about when and how we share our location data. We can choose to enable location services only for specific apps that we trust and rely on, such as mapping or ride-sharing services. We can also disable location tracking altogether when we're not using our phones or when we're in areas where privacy is paramount, such as our homes or workplaces. The key is to be mindful of the data we're sharing and to make conscious decisions that align with our personal privacy preferences. Some might argue that disabling location services is an overreaction, that the benefits of convenience outweigh the potential risks. But consider this: every piece of data we share online, no matter how insignificant it might seem, contributes to a larger digital profile that can be used to track our movements, predict our behavior, and even manipulate our thoughts and actions. In the wrong hands, this data can be weaponized against us, compromising our privacy, our security, and even our physical safety. The decision to disable location services is a personal one, but it's a decision that should be made with a clear understanding of the risks and benefits involved. It's about taking ownership of our digital lives, setting boundaries, and refusing to be passive participants in a system that thrives on our data. It's about sending a message that our privacy is not for sale, that we are not willing to sacrifice our security for the sake of convenience, and that we are taking a stand for a more ethical and responsible digital future. Section 2. Step-by-Step Guide iPhone. For iPhone users, disabling location services is a straightforward process. Begin by locating the Settings app on your home screen. It's typically represented by a gray icon with a gear or cogwheel inside. Once you've opened the Settings app, scroll down the list of options until you find Privacy. This section houses all the controls related to your phone's privacy settings, including location services. Tap on Privacy to open the Privacy Settings menu. At the very top of the screen, you'll see location services listed. This is your gateway to controlling which apps have access to your location data and how they're allowed to use it. Tap on Location Services to proceed to the next step. You'll now see a list of all the apps installed on your phone that have requested access to your location. Each app will have its own individual settings, allowing you to customize how it uses your location data. You can choose to allow location access always while using the app, or never. If you're serious about protecting your privacy, it's best to select Never for most apps, especially those that don't require your location to function properly. At the very top of the Location Services screen, you'll see a toggle switch next to Location Services. If you want to completely disable location tracking for all apps, simply toggle this switch to the off position. This will prevent any app from accessing your location, ensuring maximum privacy. However, keep in mind that disabling location services entirely might affect the functionality of certain apps, such as mapping, navigation, and ride-sharing services. Section 3. Step-by-Step Guide Android. For Android users, the process of disabling location services might vary slightly, depending on the make and model of your device and the version of the Android operating system you're using. However, the general steps remain relatively consistent. Begin by accessing your phone's settings menu. This is typically done by swiping down from the top of the screen to open the notification shade, and then tapping on the gear or cogwheel icon located in the top right corner. Once you're in the settings menu, look for an option labeled Location or Security and Location. This section houses all the controls related to your phone's location settings, including GPS, Wi-Fi scanning, and Bluetooth scanning. Tap on Location or Security and Location to proceed to the next step. You'll now see a toggle switch at the top of the screen labeled Use Location or something similar. Toggling this switch to the off position will completely disable location services for all apps on your device. This is the most secure option, but it will also prevent apps like Google Maps and Uber from functioning properly. If you'd prefer to fine-tune your location settings, you can scroll down to the App Location Permission section. Here, you'll find a list of all the apps installed on your phone that have requested access to your location. You can tap on each app individually to customize its location permissions. Just like on an iPhone, you can choose to allow location access always while using the app or never. Section 1. Beyond Location, a holistic approach to digital security. Disabling location services is a crucial first step, a decisive blow against those who would seek to exploit our digital trails. But the battle for digital privacy doesn't end there. It requires vigilance, a constant awareness of the threats that lurk in the digital shadows, and a proactive approach to fortifying our defenses. Think of it as building a fortress around your digital life, each security measure a brick in its impenetrable walls. Start with the basics. Strong, unique passwords for every account. Treat your passwords like the keys to your kingdom. Don't use the same key for every door. Consider a password manager, a digital vault that securely stores your complex passwords, freeing you from the impossible task of remembering them all. And whenever possible, enable two-factor authentication. That extra layer of security that requires not just your password, but also a unique code sent to your phone, thwarting even the most determined hackers. Next, be wary of phishing scams, those cunning attempts to trick you into revealing sensitive information. Remember, if an email, text message, or phone call seems suspicious, it probably is. Don't click on links from unknown senders, and never give out personal information unless you're absolutely sure you're dealing with a legitimate source. Finally, make it a habit to regularly update your software. Those seemingly insignificant updates often contain vital security patches, plugging the holes that hackers exploit. Think of it as reinforcing the weak points in your fortress, ensuring that your digital defenses are always one step ahead. Sharing is not always caring. Rethinking our digital footprints. In today's hyper-connected world, it's easy to fall into the trap of oversharing. We document our every move on social media, from the mundane to the momentous, often without giving a second thought to who might be watching. But in the wrong hands, even seemingly harmless information can be used against us. It's time to rethink our relationship with social media and become more discerning about what we share online. Think twice before posting personal details like your home address, phone number, or travel plans. Remember, once something is posted online, it can be difficult, if not impossible, to erase completely. Consider adjusting your privacy settings on social media platforms, limiting the audience for your posts to trusted friends and family. Be mindful of the photos and videos you share, especially those that contain location data. Geotagging, while convenient, can reveal your whereabouts to strangers, making you vulnerable to stalking or burglary. Consider disabling geotagging or removing location data from your photos before sharing them online. It's not about retreating from the digital world entirely or becoming a recluse, but rather about finding a balance between sharing and safeguarding. Think of it as curating your online persona, presenting a carefully crafted image to the world while keeping your most sensitive information private and protected. Community immunity, spreading awareness and empowering others. Protecting ourselves in the digital age is not just about individual responsibility. It's about collective action, about creating a culture of awareness and vigilance that extends beyond our own devices. Just as we vaccinate ourselves to prevent the spread of disease, we must inoculate our communities against the virus of cybercrime by spreading awareness and empowering others to take control of their digital lives. Start by having open and honest conversations with your loved ones about digital security. Share the tips and techniques you've learned, and encourage them to be more mindful of their online behavior. Help them set up strong passwords, enable two-factor authentication, and adjust their privacy settings on social media. Pay special attention to the younger generation, those digital natives who have grown up immersed in the online world. Teach them about the importance of online safety, the dangers of oversharing, and the potential consequences of their digital actions. Empower them to be responsible digital citizens, capable of navigating the online world with confidence and awareness. Remember, knowledge is power, and by sharing our knowledge with others, we create a ripple effect that can have a profound impact on the security of our communities. Together, we can build a safer and more secure digital future for ourselves and for generations to come. The urgency of now. The digital world, for all its wonders and conveniences, is not a playground. It's a frontier, ripe with opportunity but fraught with peril. We've journeyed deep into the heart of this digital landscape, exposing the hidden dangers lurking beneath the surface, the silent threats that can unravel our lives with the tap of a screen. But we've also illuminated the path to protection, the simple yet powerful steps we can take to fortify our digital defenses and reclaim control of our online lives. The choice, as always, is ours. Ignoring these threats won't make them disappear. Hoping it won't happen to us is not a strategy. It's a gamble, one with potentially devastating consequences. The time for complacency is over. The time for action is now. Every day we delay, every moment we hesitate, we leave ourselves vulnerable to those who would exploit our digital footprints for their own gain. Don't wait for a wake-up call, for the gut-wrenching realization that your privacy has been violated, your identity stolen, your life turned upside down. Don't let the fear of the unknown paralyze you into inaction. Embrace the knowledge we've shared, the tools we've provided, and take those first steps towards a safer, more secure digital life. Remember, it's not about disconnecting from the digital world entirely. It's about connecting consciously, with awareness, with intention. It's about reclaiming our digital agency, setting boundaries, and refusing to be passive bystanders in the face of growing threats. It's about taking back control, one click, one setting, one conversation at a time. A shared responsibility, building a safer digital future. The fight for digital privacy and security is not one we wage alone. It's a collective effort, a shared responsibility that extends beyond our individual devices and into the very fabric of our communities. Just as we look out for one another in the physical world, so too must we extend that same vigilance and support to the digital realm. Share this message, this call to action with everyone you know. Spread awareness, ignite conversations, and empower others to take control of their digital lives. Talk to your children, your parents, your friends, your colleagues. Help them understand the risks, the stakes, and the simple steps they can take to protect themselves. Remember, knowledge is power, and by sharing our knowledge, we create a ripple effect that can transform our digital landscape. Together, we can build a safer, more secure digital future for ourselves, for our loved ones, and for generations to come. Thank you for joining us on this journey. Stay safe, stay vigilant, and stay informed. The power to protect our digital lives is in our hands.